5, 4, 3, 2. Hey yo!
Hello, everybody!
We're back.
We're back for another week.
Another
podcast.
Another one.
Another one bites the dust.
Oh, we're such different people.
Yeah. So this week, we're talking about relationships.
We're talking about different people.
We're talking about relationships, but
Versus.
we're also talking about things in relationships that can cause.
Not things. A thing.
Okay. Thing.
A major thing that I'm going to say a lot of people deal with nowadays.
Yeah, we were doing the research on this one, and yeah, there's a lot.
And it's increased a lot over the last few years. Let's just say that.
We're like statistics that we're gonna give are only over the last 4 years, 3, whatever.
And we're getting all our information from Google.
Yeah.
Google.
Huh.
The
Googie?
Google.
The
Google.
Googie?
Video games versus relationships. That is our topic today.
I am a video gamer. I like to play video games.
I only play Sims. And I don't even play that anymore.
No, you are not a video gamer.
I do not care to play video games. Like, give me a good day of Mario Party and we could have some fun. But you're boring. You don't like those kind of games.
So, statistic number 1 that's going to go out. This year alone, Google is saying
In 2024.
In 2024, there will be 3.320 million people that will be playing video games.
That is 3.32 billion, not million.
I said 3.320
I
million.
must have missed the million. Sorry, just I only got the million. I apologize for that. But yeah, 3.3 billion. Yeah, over 3 billion people are playing video games. So I'm gonna say about 2 million of them, or till 2 billion of them, I pray for their wives / girlfriends, significant others.
I'm gonna say this. I'm on both sides, like video games and relationships.
There's not really a side you can pick, though.
Oh, but there is.
I think it's more like video games can affect relationships or bring people together.
I think there are sides.
Okay.
I think
you either choose video games or your relationship.
To some people,
yes.
Some people are yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I guess so,
video games or relationships.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying relationships with the significant other, the other sex. I'm talking about
like friendships, family,
parents, brother and sister. I'm talking about those relationships too. So like we've got.
So go get help if you play video games.
we got like we're gonna talk about it, and I play video games. Do I play them that it overtakes my life?
As a person who sees you every day and has to live with you, there is points in times that you do let it take over a bit. But I have seen many more other people in the world or people around us who let it affect their relationship or life more than you do.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So in the last 4 years, I'm going to throw some numbers out real quick right now. In 2021, there were only 2,960 million people playing video games.
Mm-hmm. Since then,
it's increased pretty
Over
much.
130 million.
Well, it's increased pretty much 100 million every year. Like 2021 to 2022, there are 150 million new gamers.
Which does make sense, especially with COVID and everything. Everyone was home. There was nothing to do. So they found something to do by playing video games. Also, on top of that, you had the PS5 craziness going on, too.
PS5 released that year.
Yeah.
But like you've got 2022, still COVID, 130 million new gamers. The next year, at the tail end of COVID, really not COVID, 130 million more.
It's crazy.
So like, and now 2024, they're saying there are going to be 100 million new gamers this year alone.
See, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So like, I'm going to base it like this. I've always liked video games. I've had the Nintendo.
The Nintendo?
I had Atari. I had Nintendo. I had
had
Nintendo 64.
I had the Sega. I know that.
Did not have the Sega, but I had Nintendo 64.
Some people are looking at us like, what are you naming?
Like, I started with Etch-a-Sketch, for Christ's sakes.
Well, kids nowadays are because they're back in style.
And then I went to Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo,
My parents,
Nintendo 64.
I know my mother loved Pac-Man.
I think I went to Xbox next.
Yeah, we had an Xbox 360. We had Nintendo.
And then I went into the PlayStation
Like we had the
world.
original Nintendos. Nintendo 1, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. We've had them all.
I went into the PlayStation world, and I haven't come out of the PlayStation world.
Switch. Switch was one thing I actually obsessed over. Because there's only... like,
still
I'm
have
not
it.
saying I play video games, but, like, do I go through little points in my life where I want to play video games? Yes. But only specific games such as Mario Party. I love that game. Animal Crossing. And my computer game of Sims. Those are the only games I've ever really cared to play.
Now, you say you're not a gamer, but you've gone through spurts like your Sims. When first Sims
Yes.
came out,
Yes.
guys, it was like 3 days of her.
Once I found out that you could get stuff for free, I was like, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, you would do like 10-hour gaming sessions.
Yeah.
Like, I'd get out and cook supper, she'd come down and eat, and we'd go right back up.
Yeah. And I think he enjoyed those times because that means he got to play his video games because I was busy with my video games.
I'm not going to say I didn't, and I'm not going to say I did. I will
But
not
no,
confirm or
like,
deny.
I'm very much not like, video games don't take over my life the way they do with certain people.
Yeah, so I play video games almost on a daily basis, but I only play for, I would say, half an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the most.
And what kind of games do you play?
I'm a EA Sports type guy. I'm baseball, hockey, football, shooting games, sniper
Loves
games.
those. He's not as good as he is in real life on those games.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Kind of hurt right now. No, but like just those games, I enjoy playing racing games.
I was gonna say, I don't know if this is like letting a cat out of the bag, but you like those like really cheap games that you can get on like the PlayStation Store, where you mow grass or go fishing.
I like simulator games. I have a construction simulator game, guys, and I have a grass mowing. I enjoy mowing grass on my ride on or Zero Turn
In real life.
in real life.
So when he turns on those games, I now go, why don't you just go cut the grass, buddy?
And I have on times. Those are the games I like to play. But I do like enjoy playing pretty much all games and all sports. I like playing sports in general. Like, if it's outside, inside, I like throwing baseball, playing golf, and like all that stuff. So to me, I'm just a sporty type guy, and I consider video games not sport, but an outlet of it, where I can play sports. Now, when do you, I'm going to pose this question to you. When do you find that I'm affected the most by video games?
You're affected or were affected?
Both.
You do it more when I'm busy anyway, so it doesn't really bother me, I guess, in a way. Like, I don't really understand your question.
No, like, when does it affect me the most? Like, when does it interfere with our relationship?
Okay. So I was kind of on the right track.
Yeah.
I think for the most part for us, it doesn't really interfere with our relationship because I think you've learned for the most part, like, when to play video games and when not to play video games. Does it annoy me when I'm busy working on something and you're sitting there playing video games? Yes. But I think that's more because I'm jealous that you're doing something you're enjoying and I'm working, kind of thing. I don't think it's actually like against you. It's more I'm just in a little jealous state at that moment because I have to work hard and you've already done your work, so you can play video games. So I don't think it really affects our relationship that much compared to what I've heard from other people and how it affects their relationship. Like, you're very much the type of person that goes, oh, like, I'll play video games right now. Oh, Cass needs me. I need to pause my game at least and go and do whatever I have to do.
Yeah, I'm not a...
You grew up. You're an adult now.
I'm not a serious gamer.
No.
I'm a casual gamer, if you want to say it.
He can go weeks on end without gaming.
I'd rather keep because I do have ADHD. I'd rather keep my attention like focused on one
Spending
thing.
money, yeah.
Instead of annoying you or bugging you while you're working, I'd rather go, hey, I got to cut grass. Or, hey, I got to throw some footballs. I'm not actually throwing them. I'm not actually cutting the grass, but I've got to do something. So let's keep my hands busy instead of annoying the crap out of you.
Now, is there people out there whose relationships are very, very, very affected by it? Yes. Now, I will say those are people who are very much gamers and they wake up thinking about video games. They go to sleep thinking about video games. And it can affect relationships, whether it be like a significant other, family members, friends. It can actually be like pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
harmful.
Yeah.
The last percentage I'm going to throw out at you guys is a number that is people that are making money off gaming. And it's less than 3% of
gamers.
3.32 billion people who are making money. So people that are like, oh, I'm going to make money one day. Unless you're in that 3%, which 3% of 3 billion people, I think is about...
Hey, Siri. What's 3% of 3.32 billion people? 99. I don't know. Million?
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know how to read numbers.
So, like, it's 3% of...
Yeah, I guess that makes
332 billion people.
Yeah.
Your chances
of making money is slim.
Very slim.
Mm-hmm.
So
you'd have to put in all your effort and make it your 9 to 5 job or whatever. I guess it'd be more of a 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. because I think that's where gamers make most of their money. Are people who like live stream at night and things like that.
How do you think this affects relationships?
I already told you that. But I'll say it again. No, I honestly think like that kind of stuff. when people, if you're going to make money off of it, then okay, makes sense to why you're making video games your life. I will say that. But when you're letting video games control your life and you're not paying attention to everything else going on in your life, you're only failing you.
I feel different than you.
Okay.
I feel like if you are trying to make money off this, and this is all you're doing, and I mean, you don't have a 9-to-5 job, then you've got to change your life.
Well,
because you sitting at home playing video games is not supporting the household.
agreed. I would say there's a difference between sitting at home, not making any money, and not having a job and only playing video games, and playing video games because you are making some type of profit. If you're making a profit off of video games,
Yes.
then yes, be at home, play your video games, make
Exactly.
your money. Which is what I've said, like, if you're making money, you can stay home and play video games. If you're not making money, then get the fuck out and get a job
Work.
make money, and then on the side you can play your video games. And even if you're looking to make money, at least you still have a job until you're making enough that you could quit your job.
Make it a side hustle.
Make it a side hustle, basically,
Because
until you can make it a full hustle.
and I think it's part of society. And I think it's a generational thing. Kids today think, oh, I'll be able to make $1 million
Being an
playing Call of
influencer,
Duty.
or yeah,
Where
it's not like that.
I grew up in the generation, and I am the generation that I'll play my video games. Like, I'm a video gamer. But I also think you got to get out and do that 9-to-5, pound the pavement, or whatever job you do, you still got to get out and do it. Video games are not going to be like the end all be all, because you might be good at one game, but that game might get old.
Yeah, they
And-
might stop making it one day. And then what?
and then you're done making money. So, like, yeah, Call of Duty, people are still making millions off Call of Duty.
I would say, like, if you're a video gamer, it's fine. It's totally cool if you like gaming. There's nothing wrong with gaming. But remember, there's a world outside of gaming. And you still have to participate in society and live in that world. You can't just live in a fantasy.
Correct. And like, I've seen it affect, and I wouldn't say I have, we have seen it affect, like, people's relationships, people's sex lives,
People's sex lives.
people's pretty much everything.
Yep.
I've seen people on release days of certain games call into work and say, I can't come.
Yep.
And don't go in for 3 to 4 days because they're
Playing
trying
the new game
They're
and
playing the
they're
new
trying to
game,
beat it
trying
out.
to beat it, whatever.
Trying to be one of the first people to beat it. And, like, hey, if you want to take the day off and use a vacation day or something because a new game came out, by all means. Hey, everybody needs a vacation day. But don't call in sick. That's so bad.
But like, I've also seen, like, and this one was on YouTube. The dad was frustrated with the kid, and that's all he did was play video games. And the kid was like 20, and he wasn't even a fucking kid. He was like 20 something years old.
He ran over his system.
He brought it out on the lawn with his zero turn. He didn't bring the system out. He brought all the games.
Oh.
Because back then,
nowadays,
back
you
then
don't need
you
games.
didn't have hard drive
Yeah.
in the systems. You just had the discs.
Yeah.
And he brought all the discs out there and ran over them with.
See, in those situations, I get how annoying it can be. Like, have I wanted to take your fucking PlayStation and throw it? Yes. But do I? No, because it cost $800. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you gotta rationalize with yourself and realize, like, all you're doing is throwing money out the window by doing what you're doing.
See, I find I shouldn't say serious video gamers. I find and I'm generalizing, and I am stereotyping, and I'm going to say that out right now. I am being stereotyping person right now. If you are a little bit more than serious than I am, because I'm not a serious gamer, I'm a just part-time gamer. If you're a serious gamer, I find your house is dirty. You're a dirtier person. You're like, because all you want to do is get up, go turn the system on, and then you get into the game and you forget
that things need to be done.
Like, we've had the situation where I've turned on the system and been in like a tournament, and you asked me to do something
and you don't do it.
And I totally forget about it because I'm in this tournament and I've now forgot all.
With like messiness, I don't think that's even just I personally don't think it has to do with video games to why you live in a mess. I think that is either two things: laziness, or it's just who you are as a person. Because we both know, like, both of us are very organized people for the most part. Like, we don't like seeing things out and about. We like to put things back. Yep. And there is a whole different world that doesn't like to do that stuff. And I personally think it has, like, video games would just be an excuse that they would use to not want to clean. It's just who they are.
I want to change somewhat my wording. Okay. I would say it's 95 or 85% laziness. Mm-hmm. You just want to turn on the system and you get lost in that world.
Yeah, I agree there.
Like, am I against gamers? No. Do I love playing games? Yes.
Are you guys gamers? Like, that's an actual question I have for you guys. Are you guys gamers, or is your significant other a gamer, your son, your daughter, your friend, your best friend? Are you guys gamers together? Like, how do your relationships work while being a gamer or while being in a relationship with a gamer? Like, let us know.
Now, do you think it has affected our relationship? Do you think it has affected our sex life? Do you think it's affected our parental relationship? And by parental, I mean like with your parents, anything like that.
I personally, for us, no, I don't think so. For the most part, yes, there's times you really piss me off when it comes to video games. And I'll say that. Like, there is times where I'm like, dude, let's go. Dude, let's go. Dude, let's go. And you're like, let me finish this. Let me finish this. But it's the same thing as you watching a sports and you go, we'll leave after this period's done. Or we'll leave after this quarter. Meanwhile, he's telling you, you look at the time and it's like, oh, it's only 2 minutes. Okay, fine. But that 2 minutes turns into 10 minutes. That's where I get annoyed, and that's where it bothers me. But in the way of like it affecting our relationship, other than like you just being annoying sometimes with it, no, it doesn't affect our relationship. No, it doesn't affect our sex life. And I would say because we're adults, it doesn't affect our relationship with other people. The only thing I can say is like it is a good way of you being able to bond with certain people in our lives, such as like my brother. Mm-hmm. Like you and my brother, you guys can bond over sports, you guys can bond over video games, and you enjoy it.
Now, like your brother video games.
Oh.
A little bit more serious than I am.
Very much so.
Does he let it affect his relationship, his sex life, and everything like that?
On the outside looking in, I would say yes to a point. Like, I think as he's getting older, he's learning a little bit more of when it's time to play video games and when it's time to have a relationship with somebody or a friendship with somebody. I would say a couple years ago, video games was life.
I would say a couple years ago, what my statement earlier about the laziness and the dirtiness, that was your brother. that was 100 your brother a couple
I
years
personally
ago.
think it had to do with more than video games too. Like I think it was like a way of like his mind was a mess, which made everything else
Yep.
a mess in his life, kind of thing.
Like,
But he was also like end of his teenage years, like very early on into your 20s, which everybody is a complete mess.
but
at
like,
that point.
I'm gonna say this. This is where he stood up for me. Like, hey, like, okay, I'm still a good guy. I might be a little dirty, might be a little lazy,
I might be messy, yeah.
but he would play until 3, 4 in the morning. Go to work. Like he'd get a couple hours sleep, go to work, and come home and start playing again.
Yep.
And like his girlfriend would come over, or she'd be on the phone. He'd be playing while they were on the phone, FaceTiming, whatever.
He
Didn't
has
matter.
learned ways of being
Working
able
around.
to balance the two. Like, and that's one thing, like you said, he used to stay up all night and play video games, get a couple hours sleep, just enough so that he could go to work his full shift, and then come home and continue playing video games. And that's what he did. And that's okay because he was able to balance the two. It's the same as him and his relationship with his girlfriend. They learned ways of him being able to do what he likes to do, her being able to do what she likes to do, and they just kind of sit on the phone with each other. They were keeping each other company while they were still doing what they wanted to do.
I would say if I gotta give anybody advice, and I'm not giving it to your brother, so like if you're watching, don't think I'm giving you advice.
Take the advice.
If you're letting it affect your sex life, your relationship, you're gaming too much. But I think if you're when you're gaming, find the happy median. Like, sit down and talk to your significant other and say, hey,
What are your needs? What are your wants?
yep. Or, hey, can I play video games today? Like,
Yeah. Schedule a time out if you have to.
what is your timetable today?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be doing this from this time to this time? Okay, I will vacuum. I will do the bathrooms.
And then I'll sit and play some
And
games.
then I'm going to play some video games.
Yeah.
Don't let it fully affect everything you do.
I will say this as we're slowly like winding down the video in a way. Video games can become
Addictive.
just like a gambling problem.
Yep.
And like you have to remember that because it's just as addicting as going to the casino and pushing the button many times. It's still a form of addiction, like you said. And it's something you have to be hyper aware of.
There are things out there for gamers. Like there is,
Oh, really?
I don't want to call it AA because I
VA?
I don't know what it's fucking called, but
VGA.
there's like Video Gamers Anonymous, like
That you
stuff
can,
out there.
ways to help you
Yes.
be able to
So
manage
if you
both.
need it, go get it.
Yeah, Google it. I'm sure we could try and find a little bit of information.
But I'm just saying,
I
like,
had no idea there was even like help for video games. I thought you were just kind of on your own.
no, just don't
Don't let it totally
don't let it take over.
Don't let it take over your life. Remember, like you need to have a balance just like you do everything else in the world. If you don't have a girlfriend or friends,
Go find some.
go find some.
No.
I know that's difficult. No, but like I understand like there is a when it comes to like people like video gamers, there is a portion of them that can't or aren't able to find girlfriends as easily.
I'm gonna say this:
Or boyfriends, I should say.
if you think you're good enough to be that 3%
Work towards it.
of the 3.32 billion people, go in tournaments and play against the world's best players. You're going to get the rude awakening of your life. And it's either going to make you go, oh, fuck, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Or it's going to make you go,
Oh, I can totally do this. Let's do it.
I lasted in the top 100 players in the world. I lasted the 15th. I can do this. I got to get better. Challenge yourself.
Yep.
If you're good enough, challenge yourself. If you're not good enough, get off the pot, try something else.
Yep. No, not meaning you can't play video games, but like I love shopping. But I know
Oh boy,
when
do
I
you
can
ever.
shop and when I can't. So it's the same as everything else. You got to balance the two.
But don't want to beat a dead horse. So if you enjoy video gaming like me, go play some video games.
And if you like food, go eat because I'm starving. What are we going to have for dinner?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Bye.
Bye, Newfoundland and Labrador.